So you've just come back from the doctor, and the doctor's told you you have high blood pressure and you need to get it under control and you need to make life changes. But you've left going, what? Which has literally happened to a friend of mine who's come to me and said, Kelly, what do I do? Where do I even start? Blood pressure often has no symptoms, so you don't even know that you may have high blood pressure. And over time, it has a very high correlation with heart disease, stroke, kidney disease, and dementia. And these are all quite scary. A third of adults actually have high blood pressure, and once you're over 65, this increases to 50%. But there is good news is that lifestyle habits can really make a difference to blood pressure. I'll be doing a series on blood pressure because it is too hard to ingest it all. It is a whole life kind of change, but they're more about making habits. And I want to make this easy, for example, for my friend so that he can make the habit changes. So please follow and subscribe. But this week, I want to focus on easy changes that can be made. So the first area is nutrition. And it's one of the quite easy tools that we can shift it. Obviously, we eat food, and what we eat affects the blood pressure every single day. So, a really key area is we've got high fiber foods here and processed foods here. Now, these two do not overlap. Processed food is notoriously low in fiber and it's very high in salt. Most people, when they think of high blood pressure, you think of salt. It's not often that it's the salt we put on the food, it's the salt in added processed food often. Something to remember is fiber only comes from plant based products. So, dairy or meat, there's no fiber. Now, we really want to make sure that we up food that has fiber. And so, when we're talking about plants, we're talking about vegetables, fruit, seeds, nuts, legumes. Now, the other really key area that really shifts the dial is exercise. But I want to say movement for the moment because if you don't exercise at all, that word can be quite a bit of a leap. And I don't mean we have to be athletes. That's not what it's about. It's making sure we have movement. So, regular exercise or movement helps to lower blood pressure, improves your heart, obviously helps with weight management, and all of these, again, remember, reduces the risk of stroke or heart disease. At the moment, I don't really want to go into big details of the specifics of the exercise. That's for another series, but really, it's just to keep moving at the moment. Another area that really needs to be looked at is sleep. When we don't sleep well, our body remains in a kind of stress state. When we're in stress mode, our stress hormones remain elevated, which really puts a strain on our heart and our body. When we don't sleep enough, we tend to eat more, we exercise less, and our energy levels are low. So, just trying to be cognizant about your sleep is really important. So, a perfect segue from that is paying attention to your stress levels. So, when stress is high, you're in that fight or flight continually. Your cortisols are up, your blood pressure's high, your heart rate's high. Stress in itself in small bursts is actually helpful or useful. I mean, like when we're exercising, we're actually putting our body under stress and that helps to adapt. But having that continuous stress is actually very hard on the body. It's all very simple to say this. Obviously, people have work stress or financial stress, family stress, but it's trying somehow to reduce that. The last one I want to talk about was healthy body weight. I actually wanted this to be the lower issue because I really believe with everything else can already be attention, and I don't really like people focusing on just weight loss. I prefer the focus to be on the healthy eating, the exercise, the building strength, the whole picture rather than do my scales go down. But yes, excess weight is a correlation with high blood pressure, and shifting even a few kilograms can make a difference. The reason is excess weight obviously forces the body to have to pump more blood around a bigger body. It just puts more strain on the heart. So we want to make some changes over the next coming weeks. They're small, habitual changes. Things aren't going to happen overnight. You need to have patience with your body. You got here over a long time. You can shift this. It's too hard emotionally to expect incredible changes straight away. I'm a victim of this. I'm quite impatient. I expect instant results, but this is not what this is about. These are things I've told my friend to incorporate in the next few weeks, and that is to increase vegetables and fiber foods into the meals. So fruit, veggies, legumes, seeds, nuts, get those in. I want him to walk most days of the week. I'm not asking him to be an athlete, but it's having that movement and getting out, starting to pump that heart. Cardio exercise is actually fantastic for reducing blood pressure. When I aim at consistent sleep, and the word here is aiming, doesn't have to be perfect. Nothing has to be perfect. Reduce a highly processed food. Don't have to stop it, but there needs to be some reduction. Processed food has terrible oils, it has salt, it's low fiber, very detrimental to the body. And monitor your blood pressure. So you can get a cheap blood pressure monitor. I got one for less than $50 online, but monitoring different times of the day and consistently monitoring it. Now, your blood pressure is going to go up and down. You're wanting to start to gauge what's happening in your body, and you want to be able to take these records to your doctors over time. The small changes over the next week is that you're heading towards improving your health. Incidentally, all of these things that we talked about actually help with the major killers. So, attentioning this now is really making changes for your aging health and your health span. Please join me for the next series. I'd love you to make a comment and tell me if you have high blood pressure and what's worked for you or what hasn't worked for you. Good luck in the next few weeks, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks.